Well, welcome to Tuolumne Legends. This is Aaron and Marv with our special guest, Tim McCaffrey. We're going to find out all about his legends for this episode. So, I've only met you one other time. You came to our Veterans Committee meeting not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
You seemed pretty quiet, conservative, and just watching what's going on. And I knew a couple of my friends, you visited them in Tuolumne, and they were really impressed. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And so let's start at the beginning. Where were you born?
So I was born in the South Bay, in the Bay Area.
Okay.
In
the South Bay would be like San Jose?
South San Jose, yeah.
South San
So
Jose.
like, and in the southern part of San Jose, like leading towards Los Gatos, in this little, it's not so little now, but it was a pretty modest area to grow up called Willow Glen.
Is that next to like Felton?
No. This side of all that.
Oh, this side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be east of the pass 17.
Yeah.
And I just lived in a regular neighborhood. I knew all my neighbors, and
What was San Jose like
back then?
back then?
When
when were you born?
I was born in 73.
73. So in the 70s, San Jose.
In the 70s, running around as a little kid or riding around on my big wheel in San Jose, like we had a quiet street. We all played football and stickball in the street. Like I said, I knew every person in my neighborhood. We had a street full of kids.
Oh yeah.
And like my older brother, he's 4 years older than me. Like he hung out with all my friends, older brothers and sisters, and all of our parents were friends. And it was like what you think life used to be like in a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But I came up here for my summers, every summer for 3 months in Twainhart. My grandpa had a house. It's right at the 4,000 foot mark.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom and I and my brother would go up there, and we'd be there for 3 months. Because that was back when school ended on Memorial Day, and you didn't go back until after Labor Day.
Yeah.
And so we had a solid amount of time here. And literally, we would go to town to go see a movie, meaning Sonora. We'd go to the city to go see a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I was like, I'd make local friends or keep friends that I'd see every summer. It was like summer camp for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd run around crazy like a wild animal through Twainhart. And, I would go through the canal. Well, I don't even know what they're called. The culverts that were underground.
Oh yeah.
We'd crawl through those and all that stuff. It was super scary, but it was like this bravery test,
Oh yeah.
And
What were your mom and dad up to?
so my mom was a mom, until I was
Bell bottoms and everything?
Oh heck yeah! I should have brought some pictures, polka dotted dresses and bell bottoms, and she had she was like Mrs. Brady, Carol Brady,
Yeah.
and my dad was like Mike Brady, Mr. Brady from the Brady Bunch, and I literally. My dad went to work every day. He owned his own business for as long as I can remember. When I was born, he didn't, but I don't remember any of that. He would be up at 6:30 and leave at 7. He owned a graphic design marketing business
Oh nice.
back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And
I mean, graphic designs back then versus now, that's kind of what you do, right?
that's what I do. But I worked for my dad back then.
When
I was 16.
How did they do graphics back then without computers and
Oh,
stuff?
man. So there was a ton of crazy stuff. There was what they call rapidographs, which are, have you heard of those? Like
rapidographs?
a rapidograph is like a pen that it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you go, the line does not change width. It's always exactly the same no matter what. And it's an ink pen that has like a cartridge of ink in it. And so that was a common tool. They had this stuff called Ruby Lith, which was this see-through red film that did what's called, this is so technical. It's funny that I know all this still.
It's good though. You gotta know the past to know the future.
Oh yeah, right. Literally. There were like basically everything's based on a 4-color separation when you run it through an ink press. So there's black, CMYK. Have you heard of CMYK?
No.
So C is cyan.
Oh, okay.
Yellow.
Just like our printers today.
Yeah, CMY.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So cyan, yellow, magenta, and K for black.
Okay.
And so when the newspaper uses it still, and when you do those separations, the rubylith, which is a certain color of red that blocks out light, you have to have one for every single layer. Mm-hmm. And so this is the black layer, this is the cyan layer, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was when I worked for my dad back when, in the late 80s. That's what I would do. The tedious stuff. I worked a thing called a stat camera, which is this giant camera that only films black and white, no grayscale of any kind. It's black or white. And then cut rubylith. Yeah, it was pretty boring. And then, he had 6 employees that were all top notch, like experts at their job, and I'd just glean off of them. By the time I was ready to go to art school, I wanted to be a graphic designer. I mean, literally, I thought my dad was my hero. And when all the other kids were like, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman, at probably like 6 years old, I want to be a graphic designer. And like looking back now, I know why I got that look from adults that were like, what, kid? Like, you sure you want to be a fireman? So yeah, by the time I went to school, I was pretty much the last generation where we were doing hand lettering. So I took a typography class where you hand wrote out all the graphic lettering, and you had to study styles and spacing and what kerning actually means and all of that, and then it went away. By the time I went up to school up in Seattle, and by the time I was done, computers had taken over. Yeah, and so I spent like the next 5 years trying to figure out how to work those graphic design programs like Photoshop and Illustrator. And absolutely, there was a program called Quark Express, which is how you do books and newspapers and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, exciting stuff.
Oh yeah. Let's digress a little bit. So what about like school, high school? When did you come up here? What about
I came up here. So when I finished school up in Seattle. My parents had my grandfather had passed away, and he left the house to my parents. And my mom's
what
dream,
year?
This was early 90s. So
early 90s, yeah.
I think they started making the move, and my dad started to like put his business up for sale. At that time they had like a rental that was in San Jose that they got early on in their marriage. And anyway, they were planning on moving up here because my dad basically for 30 years or 20 plus something years had his own business. And my mom's dream was to own a bed and breakfast.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was the plan, to turn that cabin into a bed and breakfast. And it was a pretty modest cabin, and it's not such a modest bed and breakfast now. So they basically just dumped their life savings into that place. And by the time I finished school, there was an annex, a little studio apartment, and I was like, oh, I know that place. I love that place. Like all of my memories, truly all of my like childhood memories that are precious come from this area. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go there for the winter. End of summer, go into the winter, work at Dodge Ridge as a snowboard instructor. And then I'll go get a real job in the Bay, working for somebody doing graphic design, right? Mm-hmm. And I worked up at Dodge Ridge, and I met a few people up there, and I made some really good friends. And one of my buddies was like, do you like to fish? I was like, yeah, I love to fish. And he's like, do you like to fly fish? And I was like, I don't know how to fly fish. And he's like, well, stick around. I'll teach you how to fly fish. I learned how to fly fish, and that was it. Like all of a sudden I was like, I want to be a guide. I'm good at this. Yeah. And like, a bad day was like if I didn't catch a bunch of fish. Yeah. When it used to be like, if I caught a couple, spin fishing off a boat or off the shore, if I caught a couple fish or like 5 fish, I was like, heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I got into fly fishing, and I was like, man, they're eating this up. Like, I can catch 20 fish in an afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Or shoot up to Strawberry after work and just catch, in the summertime, that last bit of daylight, and they're just hidden. That took over my life. And I stayed at Dodge Ridge, and I went from like snowboarding to, they didn't have a snowboarding program. So I developed the first snowboarding program.
When did snowboarding really come about? Like,
it came about like, I don't know, let's see, probably like in the mid 80s.
Mid 80s.
Yeah. Is when I started hearing about it.
Yeah.
And I got into it about like 80, 88 or 89.
Yeah, because in the 80s, they were doing the helicopter drops, I think, already.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
They were chasing, all the Warren Miller stuff that the skiers were doing back then.
Yeah.
And snowboards looked like just big, wide, fat skis.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't made to go both ways, or at least the one I had, it was like just this big, wide ski that I could put, I wore Sorels. And I had a blast. But by the time I was at Dodge Ridge, I gotten pretty decent at it, and I was teaching, and I really enjoyed teaching. So that went from teaching to Paul Mundy, who was the children's director up there, who developed the Ski Wee program, which was a national program that he developed right here at Dodge Ridge. Mm-hmm. Basically said, you've got the skill set to develop a real program here. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did. I sat down that summer, sat with him, and we went over all the different things. We developed like levels and what age group and biomechanics of, you can't start at 3 years old on a snowboard. Some people do, right?
Yeah.
Those gifted ones. But we were figuring more like 6, 7 years old when you can do a separation from upper body and lower body. And, got it just from there. I ended up doing that and then moving into the marketing department, sort of at the heyday of snowboarding on the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the same time, I was developing my own business and like taking on new clients in town that wanted like graphic design for cheap. Yeah. Because I basically had a computer and some relationships with printers, and I knew how to do it by hand. So I knew how to do all those separations digitally now.
Was your dad like obviously helping you, or like kind of in the background? Because he came out of digital stuff.
No.
He was going bed and breakfast, and he was just like, your son's over there. He said he wasn't interested in what you were.
He was interested,
yeah, but
literally, he was so old school that when computers came in, he hired a guy. And to the day he died, he didn't have an email. Mm-hmm. He did not know computers.
Yeah.
If my mom was out of town and something needed to be done, I'd get a phone call and be like, I'll be right over, and check somebody in for him, he was old school, and he was like in a way that he was proud of. Like, no, don't need it.
He was a veteran, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was a vet. He fought in the Korean War for the Marines. With the Marines, yeah.
Can you elaborate on any stories you heard? Or?
Yeah, so, when you're a kid, you ask all the wrong questions.
All the wrong questions.
Anybody and all this stuff, and he gave that classic answer when, you don't know, you're just shooting out into the darkness. But I came to find out that, he was one of the first guys to be on the high country Marine base over there on the other side of the pass back in, God, that was forever ago. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you the dates, but if he was 18, he was born in 33. So it was 51. Yeah. So, he was in that, you hear the stories of, which I had no idea, the stories of the Korean War, and those Marines were hiking through snow and not prepared for it. Mm-hmm. He was one of those guys, but he was prepared for it.
Yeah.
He was a skier and all that.
So he actually got the high elevation training before he went to Korea.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and I trust everything he says.
Oh, yeah.
He also, he didn't talk too much about Korea. Yeah. The most he said, he got into communications. So he was, the deepest we got into it when he was in combat was that he was getting shot at while he was climbing up on poles, setting up lines, and making sure that people were talking to everybody. From there, when he got moved into, he was a drill sergeant, became a rifle instructor, and then did that until he went to Treasure Island. Was stationed at Treasure Island in San Francisco, and was at the base the offices, still doing communication, phone stuff, like an IT guy, basically, at the office that's like south of Market. I don't know if it's still there, but I think it was like 3rd and something, Hudson, or I can't remember, so don't quote me on that one, but it was south of Market. And this was, before San Francisco was San Francisco, where it was like he met everybody, was just hanging out, and he was a huge jazz guy. So and that was like the heyday of jazz in San Francisco, and he got to see guys that like talk about legends, like Dave Brubeck was his guy, Dave Brubeck Quartet, which is he wrote songs like Take 5. Dave Brubeck they named the music program after him at UOP in Stockton. But it was Miles Davis and what's the sax player, Coltrane, and all those guys he got to see. And this is like while he was on Treasure Island, like while he was a Marine. Yeah. And he'd get out of his Marine garb unless he had to hitchhike home. Then he'd put on his dress blues, get a ride to Salinas. And but other than that, work during the day and go have some fun at night. And
I always worry about being a child of a drill sergeant. Like, did he bring that home?
So, here's what's interesting. No, so here's what's wild is when my dad got out of all of that, he dealt with some PSD and all that, PTSD, and he told my mom when he met her, he's like, he didn't accept swearing. He didn't swear around me almost ever. If he did, like, you knew it was dead serious. He was pretty stoic, quiet man. He wasn't like a really emotional guy. Someone put it perfectly, and this is how my dad was. It was like, I told you I loved you, and if that changes, I'll let you know kind of guy. Yeah. So it was like, in my lifetime, I think I heard him say, I love you to me maybe 10 times.
Really?
And that would be lucky if it was 10 times. Yeah. But there was never a feeling that he didn't love me. Yeah. Like, I knew he loved me. It just was, he was from that age that that wasn't something that men do with it. He'll probably told my mom, I love you all the time, but not his sons. Yeah. So, the magic of that bit of that story is that my son and I were having this conversation. My dad passed away in January. So my son and I were having this conversation, exactly this conversation, because my son, I'm the opposite with my kid, all my kids. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want you to always, you're loved. Right. Mm-hmm. And we had this conversation, my oldest, who's 27, he's like, yeah, he just doesn't say it that much. And I told him that. I said, he loves you. And if anything changes, he'll let you know. And on Christmas Day, he was in rehab over in Sonora. He bumped his head, and he was already, kind of on a downward path he was going that way. 92 when he passed away.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and we went in on Christmas, the day after my son and I had this conversation, and we were like, Merry Christmas. And we hung out there for as long as we could. And it was time to go. And he goes, hey, Tim, I love you. And I was like, oh my God. Wow. My son looked at me and he was like, Merry Christmas, dude. And I was like, whoo. And, it wasn't like maybe a week later that I was holding his hand and holding his head on his last breath. Oh, man. Yeah. So it was a special moment. It was an incredible moment to get from that guy. Yeah. And to be by his side all the way to his last breath was like a profound moment for me.
About your mom?
So my mom is a spitfire. She's amazing, just like my dad. Yeah. her dad was the vice president of a company called Raish Paving.
Raish Paving?
Yeah, and that was back in the day where like you get into construction and you could work your way all the way up to the top. And, and so he was in paving, and he worked his all the way up to VP, and with hard work and all that. And so my mom will tell you to this day, when she smells fresh asphalt, it like is magical for her. It's like oatmeal cookies, or
we could put her on the road crew.
Yeah,
exactly. We need some roads fixed around here.
We need a couple more on that.
We'll get her bouquet.
Mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. So, and my uncle worked for my grandpa, and my mom, I mean, honestly, if you had a dad like that, and my mom is your daughter, she really was like brought up in a way that was like, you're a princess, you know? And she's a princess with a bite. And that's how she's always been. She's going to tell you how it is, but at the same time, she's going to, like, I just wrote an article talking about my mom, and introducing, like, it's a big part of the reason I am how I am and who I am, is that I said, if you're 60 or under, you're also her child, and she loves you. And it takes like 5 minutes for her to like really dig in. Oh, yeah. And she gets to know you. And next thing you know, she's inviting you to dinner on Christmas Day, or, St. Patrick's Day or Thanksgiving. She'll take you in. I don't know how many people lived, strangers would she would,
Well, bed and breakfast too. It's like hospitality.
Oh, it just fit her perfect. That's why it was her dream, right?
Yeah.
Back in the 60s, she was a big advocate for women's rights, and she did a lot of marching on that on her own. When she met my dad, they were part of I don't know if anti-nuclear power was the thing, but it really wasn't like as not efficient's not the right word, safe as it is today. And so they were huge advocates just for like, make this safe. And
it took us 50 years, I think.
I know. I don't even know if we're there,
right?
But we get closer. It's like a clean energy, if you ask me. It lasts forever if they can just contain it really well. Anyway,
what? It's kind of off topic.
Yeah.
What was the feminist issue in the 60s? What?
So you have to understand that at the same time, right? It was like the second round of feminism. So equal pay was a big one. Just equal rights, right? Yeah. So it was still at a time where women were being suppressed, that their place was in the home, and that's it.
And that probably came from the World War II generation. Right.
Well, it was way before then too.
Well, you got to think like by the 60s, the World War II generations they're in their 50s, 60s. They're running business. They're controlling industry.
Right.
They went off to war.
Oh, right. And then the women came in and did the work.
So now you got the younger.
Steel. Yeah. What they used to call those? Rosies, I think.
Yeah, the Rosie Rivers.
Rosie the Riveter, right? So women got into the workforce, and they're like, we can do this.
Yeah.
It
was probably a generational clash. I'm assuming.
Right through there, yeah. And I think, we all experience it. I've experienced it. When things change, there's like a rub there, right? I see it now. I've felt it, like this whole thing with there's this big talk of they're taking away the white male in America. We're losing our power, or we're being taken over, or whatever it is. And the way that I'm viewing it right now, and have for a while, is we're not losing it at all.
Yeah.
Someone else is gaining it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so there is going to be a discomfort there for many people.
Yeah.
And I catch myself in those spots. I catch myself with my wife in those spots. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Didn't you hear me?
No.
And she's like, yes, I heard you. You're wrong.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
You're only right until she comes home.
Until the brains at his room.
Well, that's a good innuendo. Like, so when did you meet your wife? How long you guys been together?
Okay, so her and I met about 15, 16 years ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, right. I was
2000
at that time.
2005. 2005.
Wow.
So you're kind of a late bloomer, huh?
So I was married. I was married at 25. I was married at 25. Had a kid. And then I had my daughter 6 years later. That ended up not working out.
And that was all up here.
That was all up here. Both my kids were born here, and then kind of tried to date, not successfully, and I here's a piece of the puzzle. I was running the local weekly newspaper up in Twain which started as the Twain Times and then became the Sierra Mountain Times.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really fun, awesome paper. Well, in 2008, so it was later than 2005. It was 2008. The world economy was crashing, and one of the first things to go were small newspapers because people just stopped paying their advertising. Right? They're trying to save their business, and a weekly newspaper that's free. It's the only way that they run is by advertising. And so when they stopped paying their bills, I stopped paying my bills, but I kept paying my employees, and I had to pay the rent, and I had to keep this newspaper going. So we did that for, I think it was just under a year. And I got to the point where it was like, they were about to, the gal I was dating had already left because she was like, "You're broke, buddy," and which was sort of it was a good thing, right?
Yeah. One door opens or closes, one door opens.
My house went into foreclosure. I was just pretty much a fool. I really wanted to keep this paper. I loved it. And I think I put too much of my identity in it. I was working 80 plus hours.
I wouldn't say, I don't say a dream is a foolish thing, It
was a learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things it did for me was I had a heart attack at 36 years old.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I had a heart attack. And
is this like a family issue?
No.
I mean,
no.
Were you bigger? Were you like 300 pounds or something?
No. In fact, I was smaller. What's crazy is...
You better watch out.
What's crazy is at that time, I was able to get to the gym, and I was swimming with masters, and I was swimming 2 miles a day, 5 days a week. And I thought, okay, that's going to keep my sanity.
Did you take the swine flu or something?
No, man. I literally...
The swine flu shot, man. Then the 2008.
Right.
That's my first Article 15 because I refused to take that thing.
And me too. I have never to this day had a flu shot. I didn't have that shot either. Yeah,
for you.
I was like free and clear of all. There was nothing. And it was actually one day in the pool. I got out of the pool and I was like, man, I think I just swam too hard. I felt nauseous. I was lightheaded, and I went and I threw up. And the coach there was like, you need to eat something. Right? Because it was early. And she's like, you need to go get something to eat. I ran over to McDonald's.
Yeah, got cheeseburger, man. Exactly. Cholesterol, let's get this down.
Put some mayonnaise on it. Yeah. And actually, I felt better. Drove home, and 2 weeks later, I was dropping my car off at the shop. It needed some work on the car, and I called up my dad. My dad came and picked me up, and I was super anxious, right?
Yeah.
I got in the car. I'm sweating bullets, and it's like January. And it was like 40 degrees outside. I'm like, God. And I roll down the window, and I got my head out the window, and I'm having trouble breathing. And he's like, you okay? Are you okay? And I'm all, oh, man. I'm like, maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know what's going on. I'm like sweating bullets. Yeah. And he goes, I hope you don't have that bird flu is what he said. I think bird flu. It could have been swine flu. And my memory is bird flu.
Yeah.
He goes, I hope you don't have that bird flu. He goes, you want me to take you home? And I went, no, because it was Wednesday, which is the day that we went to press. And I was like, no, I gotta go to the office. We're going to press today. We got to like sign off on everything and we got to send it out. I walk in and Thomas Atkins was the editor. And I walk in and I go, I look in and he goes, man, you don't look so good. I guess I was like white as a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, how do you feel? And I go, man, I feel like I'm dying. Literally, that's what came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I went and laid down on the couch and I thought to myself, this is a panic attack. This is what a panic attack feels. I've never had a panic attack like this. This is what a panic attack
You got kids too, right?
Oh, yeah. At that time, it was me and my 2 kids. And so luckily, my doctor was 2 doors down from my office. So I'm like, I'm going to go get some Ativan or, some Valium or something is what I was thinking. I'm going to go talk to my doctor, get something to calm me down. And I remember picturing in my head, and this is how my brain works. People say it feels like an elephant sitting on your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't have that. In my brain, it felt like a samurai was pushing on my chest while I was against the wall. That was, not a heart attack.
Right.
Meanwhile, my left arm feels like someone gave me a massive Charlie horse. Nothing is registering.
Yeah.
And I get there and I'm telling the nurse, I think I'm having a panic attack. I just need something to calm me down. I don't care what it is. I'm actually should I just go get a shot of whiskey kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
And the doctor walks out and sees me and grabs me and pulls me into this separate rooms, puts me in a chair, and she walks out, comes back in, and she goes, here, pop these in your mouth. I'm going to make a couple phone calls. I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. She's giving me nitro, and I don't even know it.
Oh, yeah.
Because she hooked me up to an EKG straight away, and she's like, he's having a heart attack.
Oh, my
But she's
gosh.
not telling me.
Yeah,
She's just trying to keep me calm.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get 3 doses of that in an hour. What we're waiting, I have no idea how long it was.
Yeah.
Because we're waiting for Cal Fire or Twainhart to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that either.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
and in walks Twainhart, in walks Cal Fire with the gurney, and they're like, "All right, let's go." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, I could walk out.
No, I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And Marsha's all, I just want you to go down to the hospital. We're going to take you down to the hospital. And I am like, I'll just drive. I'll drive.
Right.
Oh,
And she's
man.
like, no, you're not driving. And she goes, you know what? If we get you in the ambulance, we're going to get you right in. You won't have to wait in the waiting room. So I'm like, okay.
Thanks. Yeah. It's just totally tricking you.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they put me in and they get me into the ambulance and they lay me down in that ambulance. And the guy in the back of the ambulance, just slick, right? He's freaking doing his thing.
Uh-huh.
And he puts a needle in my arm and I'm like, what's that? And he goes, it's morphine. And I go, morphine? I go, what the hell is going on, man? And he goes, Tim, you're having a heart attack right now. And I lay back and I just start crying.
Oh, God.
And all I could think of was my kids.
Yeah.
And I thought, I get a little choked up right now when I think about it, but I all I could think was, who's going to take care of my kids?
Mm.
And I was in my brain, I was actually trying to keep my eyes open and stay awake. I had this first moment of this is what they mean when they say you die alone.
Yeah.
Not that I couldn't have been surrounded by everyone that loved me. That wasn't it. All of a sudden it was so clear. It was oh, and it wasn't scary. I was oh, I'm going through this alone. I'm walking through this alone.
Absolutely.
You can hold my hand, but you're not coming with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was super calming. And then I went, I can't die. I can't die. I've got kids.
Yeah.
I got young children, a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. I'm I cannot die. And next thing you know, I'm in a helicopter flying to doctors, and spent 5 days in the hospital. I was in the ICU for a couple days.
Wow.
So what they do? Put some stents in. They put a
You wanna know?
pacemaker.
So here's what's crazy is the cardiologist came in, he was doing the surgery, and they went in through my carotid artery,
Yeah.
and they were going to go all the way up into one of my valves. There was a blockage because there is a dip in one of my valves where in combination of everything that was going on, it coagulated. And then with the hyper stress that I was having with the failure of the economy, losing my business, losing my house, my girlfriend left me, and all that all at the same time was the perfect amount of hypertension that put me over into a heart attack.
Yeah.
And so they went up through there. They flushed me basically with Coumadin, which is a blood thinner, and they pushed that through. And so no stent. But I did have a heart attack.
Dang.
So I do have cardiac, whatever they call it. I do have when you fill out any paperwork, I have to put that on there, which is sort of a bummer because I've never had anything since then.
Yeah.
But it happened. So it's like one of those things that you just put down.
Yeah, you're at high risk.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the questions they asked me is like, did I do meth? Because I was so young. When was the last time you did meth or something? I was like, what?
Yeah, you just put it in me on the way here.
Yeah, right.
What?
Right.
Yeah. For me, man.
That's the first time ever on the way here. Like,
The other thing was in the helicopter.
Oh, jeez.
In the helicopter, I was just checking out the guy flying the helicopter, with the feet and the hands, and it was just like sort of always been this dream I had to be a helicopter pilot. And my head's like, here's the pilot, here's the one of the nurses, the other nurse is over here, and I'm looking at and I go, how long did it take you to become a helicopter pilot? He looks down, he's like, oh, like a year and $100,000. And I went, yeah, I think I want to be a helicopter pilot. And he looks down and he's like, yeah, man, like you should do that. And then the first thing I looked up when I got out. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to forget the newspaper, forget that rat race. I'm going to be a helicopter pilot. Like one of the top things. If you've had any heart issues, you cannot be a helicopter pilot.
Right. That
darn it.
Yeah, that reminds me of that movie, The World According to Garp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. That was way back. Yeah. That was exactly it. I'm like, darn it. Yeah. So,
and so then you meet your wife?
No. So you know what I did was I've been a musician. I've been playing drums my whole life. And there was, when you play drums, there's always like another instrument in the room. I had this like crummy old acoustic guitar that I kept on trying to play, but I never really learned how to. And I had this heart attack, and basically the cardiologist said, you know what the difference is? He's like, first he said, if you can have a heart attack, considering everything that was going on, I was like practically a vegetarian eating chicken, swimming 2 miles a day, 5 days a week. And he's like, if you can have a heart attack, he's like, you know what's scary about that? Anybody can have a heart attack.
Absolutely.
And so he said, you know what the difference between you and your father is? When your dad got off work, he was done with work, and he went and had a drink. And he went home and he was with his family, and he's like, you don't ever stop working.
Yeah.
And so, I took that to absolute, I was like, that's gospel. And, I'm like, I'm going to go have a drink. Take it easy.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
So with everything going on, and at that point, my house just disappeared into oblivion. Went into foreclosure. Actually, it was the most heartbreaking thing ever to like lose your home.
Yeah.
And I moved back into that annex with my kids on my parents' property.
Nice.
And the kids and I just had. It was actually a pretty special time because I didn't have to work. I only had to come up with a few $100s to pay for utilities and my phone.
Yeah.
And so I got to spend time with my children, and I picked up a guitar and I played that guitar for 3 hours a day, for I don't know for how long, forever it seemed like. I mean, really, for the next 10 years, I probably did that. Yeah. But what ended up happening is I started learning songs, and I played those songs, and I learned how to play and sing. And then I talked to the owner of the Rock in Twainhart, and I said, hey, would it be cool if I came out and played some songs on Friday night? And then it became Friday and Saturday, and I kind of got comfortable doing that. And there was this really cute waitress that worked there who had this really ridiculous laugh. And her and I became friends pretty much quick because she ran the show there. She was the manager, and her and I were friends for a decent amount of time, for I don't know, 3 or 4 months, just like hanging out and with other pals and going and doing stuff together and taking my mind off of all this trouble. And
this is Sarah.
This is Sarah.
I got your bio up, so I got little notes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so
just give her a name.
Yeah, Sarah the waitress. So what ended up happening is one night I was like, I asked her out, and she said yes. And
did you do it in a song? No,
yeah. You want to know what's funny? Is from there I started playing. I joined a band, and we kind of formed a band called the Little Fuller Band, and every song I wrote was about her. Every single song that I wrote, whether it was a good song or a sad song or a funny song or an awful song or a heartbreak song, like she was the one in mind, and she was there half the time. Like when I wrote all these songs, we would, like, if it was a funny song, there's a song out there called "Why Don't You Love Me?"
Oh yeah. By Jesse Wells.
No. This is I wrote a song called "Why Don't You Love Me No More."
Oh.
And it's just about this dirtbag of a guy who, cheats on her and gambles and never brings her flowers and sold her, he was going to ask her to marry him.
You didn't practice all those things, did you?
No, we wrote.
Because every time I do something like that, my wife's like, what did you do? I'm like, I just made it up. I swear to God.
Right. I literally called her and I'm like, you got to hear this one.
I know. She's like, what? What's going on?
Her and I just laughed. And then I went to my mom and I was like, you got to hear this song. It's her favorite song to this day. Anywhere I play, it's like one of the first songs I wrote. And anywhere I play, she's like, you got to play the cowboy song. Mm-hmm. She's like, that's like a, who does she say? It's like a Willie Nelson meets who was the guy? Oh, he's so great. He's got an amazing voice. He's she thinks that I still care.
We can probably ask the producer. I'm probably
Keith Whitley.
Everyone who's listening, he's from like the 50s and 60s.
I'm thinking like
no, after
it has an R. Roy, is it Roy or
No, it's not Roy.
No.
Roy Orbison?
No.
Yeah.
Way country.
Wow. Do you have a YouTube channel?
Conway Twitty?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube channel with the song on it we can watch later?
Hank?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
I don't know. We haven't been together for like a decade.
Yeah, but don't you have any recordings like that we could pop?
Yeah. I think you could probably find it on Spotify.
Really?
Yeah. If you type in Little Fuller Man.
I swear it sounds like Keith Whitley though, because she thinks I still care.
She thinks that someone is listening to this and like screaming right now.
Yeah, they're telling us exactly who it is.
I'm curious, like, where are we going to find it? I mean, you should have a YouTube channel. You should have something like, here's all your music.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get it off. It's not like my favorite album, but
yeah.
And the one that we made after it is so slick and awesome. But I went in and I went with ASCAP, the basically the union for songwriters, and I filled out all the paperwork that like these are the songs I wrote, we produced it, and they pulled all that off because I then should get like writing credits and writing royalties.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't on there before, so they were like, ugh, and they had to pull it off.
Oh,
yeah.
I got to figure out how to get it back on there because the album is awesome.
You want your music out there. You want your art out there.
I think I know somebody could help you.
Yeah. We'll talk.
When you said that, like one of my favorite songs by Jesse Wells is "Why Don't You Love Me."
Yeah,
and he's a fairly new folk singer. I think, honestly,
that'd be amazing of them all. Yes, I wrote that song.
I know. I'd be like, wow. And if you know Jesse Wells, have you heard of him?
I probably have heard him, but he's
like the up and comer. He's like he's a little bit Nirvana. He's a little bit
no way, right
like
on
old school. Like who was in the he passed away. His wife's still alive. It was during the 60s and 70s.
60s and 70s.
But he, the during the protests and stuff like that, Jesse Wells is like that, and he's the current guy. Like he's the underground current guy right now.
Yeah,
he's been down in San Francisco, Berkeley. I've watched him down there, and I'm like, I feel kind of out of place because it's super liberal, kind of.
Yeah.
He's not super pro Trump, obviously.
Yeah,
but like, and I'm conservative.
Yeah.
Me and my wife probably the two most conservative people in the room. But like, I love his music. I don't care what your politics. I like the beauty of the music, the beauty of what he's saying, the poeticness, the just the authenticity.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Charlie Crockett.
Yeah,
He should be on every billboard right now. He is the Hank Williams Jr. of today.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Like these two guys have just popped up in the last couple of years. I think in this movement of social strife, it's just touches me.
Note. Yeah. Charlie Crockett
and Jesse Wells. Yeah. You gotta look those guys up. You'll be blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about like real in this age of AI and this age of fake, like this is like the guys.
Oh yeah.
Realness.
Awesome.
Like art nowadays.
Yeah. Killer.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell AI from real anymore.
Yeah, it's getting harder. It's getting harder.
Yeah.
And who knows what these songs that people are coming up with, how much AI is helping. I just wrote a novella a couple weeks ago. AI helped me a lot. Without AI, I probably would have never wrote like that because it's like having an editor right at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And almost instant, so as I'm writing, it's helping me like, okay, write about this and do this better. It was like.
I love AI as like my personal I like fact checker, because what I'll do is like, this is this, that, and the other, type it all in, and I go, find me references for this.
Yeah.
Or I'll say, find references that prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Or, who was married to Tanya Tucker?
Yeah, right.
That's the guy who sang the song.
Tanya Tucker.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could look it up.
Tanya Tucker.
George.
George Jones?
George Jones.
There you go.
Boom. Gosh.
See, now
thank you so much.
I know. She's showing your age over there.
Young sir.
Oh man. So that guy's voice is insane always was. Yeah. Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
I got
absolutely.
struck with I got the path.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about like copyrights and stuff. Like I love when I started Tuolumne Legends a few years back, I love There's a Time, that old song in the 60s is like as the intro. Mm-hmm. And like Ray comes on board, he's a producer, like more pro. He's like, dude, we can't do that,
Yeah, you have to pay for royalties.
We got royalties. Yeah. I'm like, dang, like I thought I was old enough that we could get away with it, And like it came out in the 62 or something. Yeah. Not quite old enough,
No, that would be like 20s.
Yeah. Yeah. But
maybe later now. Jeez.
But those kind of things, it's like, about copyright, I suck. I wish we could, all these musics we're talking about, like play that, but I see a lot of podcasts. We can't do that.
30 seconds, I think, is the law. You can get away with 30 seconds.
And that's about, there you go. Look that up. And we got to have that.
Well, I'm going to use that on my
It's a myth. It's a myth. He knows. That's why.
And then are you guys commercial? Like, do you make money on it? Not
yet. I mean,
so that's another one. They're only going to get you for what you make on it.
Yeah, right.
15% of profit.
See, that's why we get you guys on here, so you'll sponsor us.
Right. We're the number one and only podcast in Tuolumne. Okay, like we got a niche, awesome. We got a corner so far.
Yeah, awesome.
So So then, so you're playing music. You're at the Rock.
Meet my wife.
You meet her. The future wife.
We had kind of after, just to get real personal, after everything that happened before I met her, I like immediately fell madly in love with her. But I was so, lack of a better term, gun shy with a divorce and my children. I was super protective of my kids. She had a child, Everett, who I consider my son. And she was like, I think she was ready to go. She was like, we loved each other.
Yeah.
But I was afraid. I didn't want to ever do I didn't want to hurt my children that way again, I didn't want to be hurt in that way again. And I also didn't want to hurt someone in that way.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, like we dated so long before we got married. She was content with like, he's never going to ask me to marry her or me, whatever. And, we dated for 8 years. And, I was just madly in love with her, and I just couldn't
dating's
imagine.
fun. We already found out the marriage
is fun.
sucks. That's hard. Let's just stay with the dating. It seems way better.
It's like I've said before. I wish it was opposite, where you get the marriage type first, and then you get to dating.
Then you start dating.
Yeah,
then you start
get married
dating
first, and then you start dating, and it's all, come on, honey.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. We got married, and I woke up the next morning. I said, I feel different. When we dated for 8 years, like I said, I woke up the next morning. I said, everything's different, and that's
kind of sometimes the problem.
No,
things feel different.
No. All of a sudden, it was like, we're in this together forever. There's no like, and you know, you said it. Marriage is not easy. Relationships aren't easy. Yeah. But the bottom line is, with that as the bottom agreement, that we're in this forever. And we got each other's backs no matter what. And we're going to get into it, but we know that we're safe to get into it. Yeah. I'm never going to do anything to hurt you on purpose, and vice versa. Like, I still do things that probably, you know, hurts her feelings and whatnot, but I have to remind her, I didn't do it on purpose. And then I learn, you know, after, you know, I have to sleep on the couch or whatever.
Well, you could be like me. Boy, I get out there and I stomp around the house. I throw things around.
Don't fit like a kid.
I want to. And right 5 minutes before she gets home, it's clean.
Yeah. Smart. There you go.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Smarter man than me.
Yeah, I know. Oh, boy. I learned.
I mean, what you just said, like, when you're, you know, your first marriage or your first relationship, I mean, that's kind of like the same thought process, though. This is forever.
Oh,
is it like was it quite there? It was kind of, you know,
different. Like we dated for 2 years, and then when we got married,
in 20s, right?
I was 25. She was 21.
Oh yeah,
and really, it was like we were just so young. I think we both thought we knew what love was.
Yeah.
And the reality is now, like, I love my ex-wife. She comes to every birthday. She comes to dinner for Christmas. She's there on Thanksgiving. She's there on St. Patrick's Day, which is actually like Christmas in my family, coming from an Irish family. Yeah. But she's at everything. And we're friends. And when there's an issue that involves all of us, she's part of the conversation. Nice. And I'm grateful for that, because we agreed when we separated and got a divorce that the most important thing were the kids. Yeah. And we genuinely stuck to that. That it came down to what's most important for them. Because getting a divorce is already damaging. There's no way around that to a child, right? Yeah. And so we committed to knowing that we both love them, that we are, you know, still a unit. It just looks different. Yeah. But, you know, her and I agree on things. When they were little, I mean, they're both adults now, but when they were little, it was like, these are the rules that you're having in your house. I'm going to have those same rules in my house. What was interesting is we became much more compatible when we didn't live in the same house. Absolutely. We could communicate really well once we had, I don't know, it was just, we were so young. We got out of it, and we somehow were able to be ourselves. It was like we were playing roles in that marriage. And then I grew up and I met my wife. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. And you want to know what's crazy? And I just love Andrea is my ex-wife, and I love her dearly. She spoke at my wedding. Wow. And she literally said at my wedding to Sarah, I wish I had a relationship like you guys do. Oh, wow. And I at my own wedding, my ex-wife said that, and I started bawling going, wow. So like, as weird as that sounds,
life is weird.
I'm grateful.
Real life is weird. Real life is different. Real life is not scripted.
No, right. This isn't a movie. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not all fairy tales, right?
No. Well, that's part of that. I struggle with that myself. Like the bad things that happen in life, are just as important as the good things, and maybe even more, because that's where you're learning. That's where you're growing.
Yeah.
That's where the pressure to make diamonds comes from. Unfortunately, it's just
right.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
100% agree.
there's
I was
days
talking
where
about
like
this
I
last
hate
night.
it, but it's like honestly, I'm kind of thankful for it. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's just
Who would you be without all those things? I think
Yeah.
it would be like, you would just be this flatline kind of guy if you didn't have all that experience of pain, suffering. I mean, suffering is life, man. And without it, there is no real joy.
yeah.
I mean, people say it and it sounds so cliche, but without sadness, without pain, there isn't joy. And the truth is that's what brings us to this place of like the life that we have, and appreciate the smallest things that are happening in our lives that are good. And without the bad, we don't know it's good.
Yeah.
As sad as that sounds.
Kind of a weird take, but I wanted to touch on this anyways. But like sometimes I think about heaven and it's like, oh, there's no sadness, no one's hurt, no one's crying. But I'm like, it's kind of boring. What's going on?
Well,
so is there any jump into this? Like, do you have any religious like background?
So I grew up Catholic, right?
Okay.
And so very, very religious. Went to a Catholic high school all the way up until my junior year in high school.
Wow.
Oh boy.
And
I married a Catholic.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I've heard people say condemned Catholic at a very young age. What I learned from it, not just the Bible itself, which I got to run through a few times.
Yeah.
And
As a kid or as an adult?
both.
Big difference. Yeah.
So as a kid, and going through school, there was the Bible. Then I took religious studies. I studied like the history of religion, of religions.
Yeah.
The philosophy of religion, all up until my junior year. There was a religious class every semester.
So how was your parents involved in all that? Because you said your mom's kind of spicy, right?
Oh, my mom is Catholic.
Oh yeah.
And my mom goes to Bible study to this day every week.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a community that they go through the scriptures and they have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And
Is your mom up here still?
yeah. My mom is in Twainhart.
Okay, so you probably know my mother-in-law,
Mhm.
Teresa Lewis.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's all my mother-in-law is all about that right now.
Right
Yeah.
on.
I feel sorry
Because they got the food pantry up there, I guess, in
Mhm.
Twainhart. They like making
Mhm.
bread and stuff, and on
Mhm.
Tuesdays I think they give bread out.
Well, you guys missed out I done wrote me a Mormon girl.
Oh yeah.
Did you have to become Mormon?
Well,
Or did she like step away from LDS?
yeah, it's kind of half and half, but I'll tell you what, it's always fun.
It's always fun. Is her family still big in it?
Well, her mom just passed away, and her
I'm
sister's not
sorry.
into it anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's all she had.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
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 but yeah, so it's not about me.
No.
So being
religious.
being spicy socially and being, devoted to Christ and God in my mom's life is like, they're not separate things.
Yeah.
Like, she is a strong believer in the words that Jesus said. And that's how I was raised with my mom and dad, that his words were the most important part. And I'm still a true believer of that. I would consider myself, it's just not, I can't use the word religious anymore because I'm not going to formal mass like I did daily. I mean, there was 2 years where I went to Catholic mass 7 days a week, straight. I was the weekday altar boy, and that went through Saturday. And then I went to church with my parents on Sunday.
What was your dad's take on all of it?
Well, my dad grew up, my dad grew up, I want to say Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
but it could have been Episcopalian. Don't commit me to either of those. When he met my mom, he converted to Catholicism.
Oh.
And so, yeah, we were all in.
Mhm.
You know, I went to Catholic school. Like, we were all in.
But mom seemed to be the pillar. Huh?
Mom was a pillar. Mom held that space, you know. I'll tell you what, we would go to church on Sunday revolved around when the 49ers were playing. And so, yeah, I think my mom held that space. My mom was the rock in that part. When I got older, I got to a place of like, there was parts of me that it didn't matter if I went to confession or not. I still had there was shame. And I needed to deal with that as an adult in my own way. And I found myself here in the woods and surrounded by God's creation, right? And trust me, these are words I don't use in my daily life. Yeah. This is so personal to me that I'm dumping out right now. But the reality is my relationship with God is in this county.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to the peaks, I've been to Kennedy Peak, and you can just see the whole county from there. And there's no doubt that there's something, right? And I can't define it. What is that called? That's like an agnostic, maybe?
No.
It's an I don't know.
I tend to use words like universal, conscious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Light.
I always say, now how do I get down?
I know what it is in my heart.
Yeah.
I know what it is inside of me. What it allows me to do is accept other people's version of that.
Yeah.
And God knows there's a lot of versions of it.
And there's a ton of versions of it. And the more that I know, it's like there are so many versions of it, and people call it different things.
Yeah.
What I got from all of that schooling at the end of the day is if I just stick to his words that are written down in the Bible and all four books, and I just stick to those, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
You will have the best relationships in your life. You will communicate with people freely. You will be true to yourself. You will have compassion for every level from paupers to kings, and everything in between. And you will have what I have from that is a dedication to others, that it's not all about me. And that's just how I live my life. Like, even in my business, graphic design, the best joy I have is when I can give to anyone as soon as they say, how much do I owe you?
Yeah.
Or how much is this going to cost? I get like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that makes me happier than when I can say, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your wife fit into this faith?
We come in I think we both have a strong agreement. We are together in that.
Did she have like a particular background or anything?
Catholic.
Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
She St. Pat's right here in town.
Yeah.
That was her safe place, really.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about her background, but she didn't come from the best background. She's a perfect example of it takes one positive adult role model to change your life.
Yeah.
She was brought in by another family, and she immediately was like, oh, this is how life is supposed to be. And it just completely changed her trajectory.
So it kind of sounds like she's supporting you through all this.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can't do this without.
Are you talking about like this campaign thing?
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? You know how many times I want to rip my hair out at the end of the day and have to listen to people tell me how bad whatever it is that they're saying. And I get to talk to her, and she holds that space.
Yeah.
And then we kind of work things out, and she says simple things that I can hear, right? She doesn't say, you're wrong. We just had this talk last night. She said, I think what you're trying to say is that you disagree with what they're saying. And I went, and I'm like, well, that's the same thing. If I'm saying, I think you're wrong.
Oh, man.
Right. And she's like, nah, well, I think what you're trying to say. And I can hear that from her.
Yeah.
She,
what does she do now? Right now?
She works for Atka now.
Atka. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
She owned her own business for years. She had her and her business partner had a holistic she's a massage therapist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was reading that massage stuff, but the ACA thing wasn't in here.
Right. So that's pretty new.
Okay.
She wanted to change careers. Whether you know it or not, while this person is taking all the pain out of your body, it is hard work on your hands, on your arms, on your shoulders, on your back. And you know, I don't know how long she's been doing it for. She's been doing it for as long as I know, and she's really good at it. But she was like, I can't do this forever.
Oh yeah.
And you know, if I don't know if she has it or not, but I think she started getting concerned that she was getting some carpal tunnel. And so she went back to school. She is focused on early childhood learning and advocacy. And so right now, she's working with ADCA and she's doing in-home visits, helping mothers and their children.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And parents. I shouldn't say just mothers. She's going into homes and meeting these babies really. And kind of telling new mothers, yeah, this is normal. This is absolutely okay. And I can't talk too much about what she does because I don't do it.
Well,
but she loves it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you got a really good life, man.
I agree.
Yeah. And but my question for you is, what made you want to run for this?
Okay. So
I was a candidate once too.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. In 2018, there's always that. What's the catalyst? It's not. Oh man.
All right. So the initial catalyst went way back. I got a call from Evan Royce that just said, "Hey, I think you should throw your hat in there."
Nice.
And that's when Anaya ran the first time against
me, Lori.
Yeah, Lori Sylvester.
And I forget the other guy without a Jamestown.
Merv,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't vote for you.
That's all right.
Okay.
I'm glad no one voted for me. I think 379 people voted for me. Thank you very much.
That's pretty good, man.
But
That's good.
I'm glad
That's
I didn't
not
get the job. It's too much stress.
Yeah, there's a lot of stress there.
And then new candidates, I feel like being a new candidate long ago, there's so much you don't know. Sometimes you just jump in there because you're focused on a situation and you're just like, I could do a better job than that guy.
Yeah,
but
so there you go.
There's so much more.
So much more.
Yeah.
So first time around, I think Evan just planted the seed. I literally said, you know what, man, I really like going to dinner with my girlfriend at the time. I said, I really like going to dinner with her and no one bugging me. And I see him. I'm like, I see you at whatever restaurant and you just don't get a minute alone.
And
everyone,
even to this day, still,
I saw him the other day. I'm all, how's it going?
He thinks a lot.
Yeah, right. So
he changed his number and I had to get his new number. Like, dude, what's going on? Like, try to change your number on everybody? Like, we're trying to get a hold of you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to tell you what you should do.
So this has been a long. So it's like
that was just planted.
Like
that planted
8 years
the seed.
ago, like a long time ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago, that planted the seed. And I just
kind of for it was like there was some. Why did
Evan call me?
Yeah, I mean there had to been something.
I think at the time, and I can't I won't put words into his mouth. I can only speculate that he was not happy. Or he didn't feel comfortable with the people who were running at the time.
Yeah.
And so he called me, him and I, the entire time that he was in office. I was like, good job. You know, those guys don't hear that ever.
Oh, yeah.
No one ever calls them and says, hey, you're doing a great job. Smart decision.
Yeah.
Really appreciate what you did. And I would do that. My mom would do that too. And you know, we appreciated how he handled his job and the decisions he made. And so he knew that, and that he knew that him and I were sort of lockstep. He did that job the way that I think it should have been done. He was pretty even keel down the middle, separated from his personal politics. And we agreed on that. I think that's all. I think it was as simple as that.
Yeah.
But it didn't go past that phone call.
Yeah.
I think I talked to his campaign manager, and I was like, nah, I don't want to get in this.
Yeah. So there was no spark. There was no spark.
No spark.
Yeah.
No spark. And actually, I was like, I didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know?
Life's good.
Life's good. Life's good. And it wasn't even that. It was like, life's good. I got a job.
Yeah.
Right. And I like my job and I don't have time to do that. People call it a part-time job. I just was like, I'm not that type of guy. I'm sort of a, like the guitar thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want to learn how to play guitar. I'm going to learn how to play guitar. I'm going to learn how to play it until I'm proficient at it. Like, I've done that. I want to be an artist. I'm going to practice at it. I want to be graphic design. I'm going to put my whole self into it. And it just applies to everything in my life. Yeah. And sometimes to a fault, right? Like hyper-focused maybe to a fault. Yeah. Anyway, 4 years go by. I just wasn't happy with what felt like a single-sided supervisor. It seemed like he was just leaning a little too hard for me to represent the entire district fairly. I know that everyone's going to lean one side or the other, usually. And I just wasn't happy. So I made some like flippant comment on Facebook, like, I think I could do a better job, like just uneducated statement. Yeah. And immediately I got a phone call from like, okay, let's do this and let's sit down and we're going to, right? Yeah. So I did. I sat down and I was like, let's hear it, and I got the whole pitch and I was like, I'll think about it. Yeah. I mean, pretty much, sadly, I thought, I watched the last election. I watched other elections, and my kids were in school, in high school, different stages of high school. And I just thought there's no way that I want to get this job and put my kids through any sort of torment that they don't deserve that should be landing on me. I mean, it's already happening now. Someone like attacked my mom at a board meeting that I just happened to be at. Like started like saying stuff about, you have no idea, like you do. Just imagine someone like defaming your mother or whatever the word is, like just boiling. So,
that's what I
couldn't imagine putting them through that.
Yeah. I think that's what I read a little bit somewhere, was that you wanted to concentrate on family. And when I ran unopposed last time, and that was difficult. We talked to him the other day, and he brand new supervisor again. He put it like you're getting force fed with a hose, and it takes you some time to get your wits about you, and then COVID hits and that chaos, and so just that alone, it didn't seem like a very contentious election all around, because everybody was just like, holy moly, the world's coming to an end, got COVID. I don't want to deal with this stuff. So, and
then COVID itself, I mean, we go back, there was like life before COVID and there's life after COVID, man. And there was like this crazy division across the board. I mean, it wasn't just like left and right of politics. Yeah. It was like, there was left of left and whatever happened over here and then the right over here. There was all this infighting everywhere. Yeah. I was already registered no party preference by that time. Yeah. And literally I'm like, what is going on? These guys are talking about this and they never talked about this before. And these guys are talking about this and they never talked about that before. Yeah. And now they're fighting with each other and they're fighting with themselves. And it was a mess.
Yeah. So kids are grown and
kids got out of high school,
and now we're here. Like
we're here. So
you're getting hit up again. Because I mean, looking for people to fill boards. Yeah. And get involved in the community is very difficult. From our standpoint of being in veterans and nonprofit organizations, it's like, gosh, who can we get in the seat, Right. And there's a little bit of that going on. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, and even one of the last elections, I was kind of mad. I'm like, you can't find anybody better to run? Like, like really? Yeah. Like, right. So there is definitely, because there's some headhunters out there. We're trying to get people that will do the time,
right? Right. So I think, and I agree, and that's a good thing, right? That's civil engagement. Mm-hmm. So this time around, I just had 8 years of looking, or it wasn't 8 years at the time, 7 years of kind of seeing how Anaya was doing things. And really at first, it came down to, I still believe
I
that.
don't want to really focus on him too.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is I'm just me getting into it.
Yeah. Just
So really, it just came down to he no bad talking Anaya at all.
Yeah.
I literally just thought, oh, he's not going to run again. He's got a brand new baby. He's got 2 jobs now. That was it. I was like, he's not going to run again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what started it all. From there, it just sort of built. Like there were social things that we disagreed on. Then we got into it. And then basically I started talking to people and I started to get into the job. And just like you said, there's a lot going on there. And the more that I knew, the more empowered I felt and the more connected I felt to our community.
Yeah.
More so than I already did. Like my connection to, my community is very social. I belong to a couple clubs in town and I like to give back to the community. But, that's very social. And when I started getting civically engaged and really understanding the ins and outs of the county, that switched from social to service. And all of a sudden owning a graphic design business for 20 plus years, coming on 30 years, and getting to a point where, we're in this age where it's like everyone can make some kind of widget that they want to sell and just add to the noise.
Yeah.
And that turning over to being like, I can really make a difference and I can really make change and I can really connect the dots here and I can, do my best to be that bridge for our community to connect again. I'm done with the division. I'm so done with it.
Yeah.
And and for me, local politics, it's so easy to agree on so many things. Coming down to, we need law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be funded.
Absolutely.
We need fire.
Yes.
It's the number in District 3. It's the number one concern. If you talk to people, it's basically like, I don't want my house to burn down. I don't want my insurance to go up, and fix the roads.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's what I hear.
But there's also some, like, I sit on Park and Rec. That was one of the things that came out of my candidacy. I didn't win,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, hey, people came up to me, hey, can you sit over here on this board and get elected over here?
Yep.
Hey, can you come down and be on a committee at the county?
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, like, because I want to be engaged. I want to help.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And, but there's part of like, when people talk about fire, and this is my little soapbox.
Yeah.
I bought this property. I got a couple acres.
Yeah.
I'm next to BLM.
Yeah.
I bought a tractor that cost me lots of money every month.
Couldn't imagine.
To make sure I'm taking care of my property.
Yep.
And I'm building my own fire break and I'm cleaning.
Yep.
And so there's a part of like
the Golden Gate Bridge, man, never ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that bothers me is when the community complains, it's like, okay, what are you doing then? Like, I get you might be working really hard and you got a family to take care of, but not everybody, the government's not going to come along and help you.
Yeah.
Take
clean
care
up your property.
Yeah. Clean up your property. Like you have to be engaged too.
Yep.
Like,
Now, wasn't there a thing where it has to be like 50 feet?
100.
100
yeah,
feet,
they want 100 feet clearance from houses, which I kind of get. And I could keep telling my wife, I want to take down this tree. I like the shade. I like it. So there's that, even though I had that little battle, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And
new
you get into the
homes.
weeds of what that 100 feet looks like too.
Yeah.
Because you can have the trees, they just have to be high enough to be over the roof.
Yeah.
I recently put my own sprinkler system on my roof. Like,
that's amazing.
I mean, I just ordered some sprinklers, like lawn sprinklers, and I crafted them in such a way, and I got long hose and engineering my own sprinkler system. And that's after watching the fire down south.
Yeah.
That recently just happened.
Right.
Those houses that were saved, mainly people were spraying the roofs and stuff, and it's like, ding! I got plenty of faucets. So in like 3 minutes, I have water running all over this
turn
place.
it on and bolt.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
there's a problem with that though. I talked to a firefighter about that. He said, because I told him about sprinklers, I asked him about it.
Mm-hmm.
when you run out of water and the pressure's not good,
Oh yeah.
your house is going to burn anyway.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well,
But maybe you'll make it, you know?
a little bit of water. I would. Doing
never
nothing
know.
is not going to help.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
A TOD tank's going to last at least a day or two. Okay. Like,
But if you have a lot of people doing it, though, it's not going to last very long.
you got to put water on the ground. I mean, the bottom line is, I wouldn't discourage people from not doing it.
I wouldn't either.
I mean,
As a matter of fact, I'm about to do it myself.
we almost had that fire. Ponderosa got evacuated.
Yes.
What it was like 2 Septembers ago or a year and a half ago.
I think it was a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
Over
It's just right over here.
Mine,
yeah. And I'm like, well, we're not getting evacuated, but still we loaded up everything. And, and after that, I'm like, dude, we got to do something. That's when the fire.
I got a buddy at the top of Pondo who is ex-Cal Fire captain, and he's like retired. I shouldn't say ex.
It's surprised he's living in there. Like, you know how dangerous that is.
Matchbox in there.
You know, I think he fought tooth and nail not to evacuate because they were evacuating the top.
Yeah.
People were getting out.
Yeah.
It was like heavily suggested, maybe. I don't know if it was forced.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm sticking around. And he had the hose out.
Yeah.
So we lucked out on that fire.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
It was night.
Yeah.
Wind.
Yep.
Like there were so many things that were in our favor for that fire.
Uh-huh.
If it went the other way, if it was middle of the day, wind was coming in 1 o'clock, how we get that breeze that comes up through here.
Very lucky.
And that same fire was there,
Yeah.
Pondo would have jumped to Provo.
Mm-hmm.
Provo would have gone up to Twainhart. Confidence, that whole ridge.
Yep.
And it would have been devastating. We could have had a paradise thing going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if it ran the ridge and we've got houses down at the bottom. Back to your statement, people have to do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like absolutely 100% agree.
Yeah.
Like how we enforce that right now, CAL FIRE has a program where they're like looking at properties, and if you're not compliant, you're going to get dinged. So
we don't want to get ding's not going to help.
Ding's not going to help, but I think it compounds, right? Like you just keep getting a fine over and over and over.
It was something weird.
We need help. I love that.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
What does
we
that
all
look
need
like? Do we have community? Do we develop community groups in each neighborhood and go
I think
like a Firewise
thing?
thing?
You think about it, the change starts from the bottom. Real change starts from the bottom. Grassroots, the protests in the 60s and the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom was involved, and our parents were involved. You have to get involved. You have to start doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that look like? Well, I've helped a couple of my neighbors out. I helped the neighbor up here.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'll pay for your gas. I haven't asked him for his gas. I helped clear it. It's like, just go out and help. I helped my neighbor down here.
My buddy on Ponderosa's got 20 acres. It's nonstop. And he loves it. Right. He
sometimes it's exercise.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because he's on this, 20 acres of that. And he manages it so well. Yeah. Like really well. Just working all the time. Like I said, Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah. When he gets to one end, start back over. Yeah. But in conjunction with your point, he went down right down below you at 1 mile?
Yeah.
Well, there's Maranatha. There's 1 mile.
1 mile. So his buddy lives up on 1 mile. He's got acreage. Mm-hmm. That guy's been maintaining his property, but the guy up on Pondo is part of the PBA, Prescribed Burn Association in Tuolumne County. Mm-hmm. And the guy down on 1 mile is like, I'm afraid to start any fire.
Oh, yeah.
And so this guy was like, oh, no way. It's not as scary as you think. Yeah. I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
And he went down there and they started small and, and that's how you do it. Exactly what you said. We need community action. We need support with the Tuolumne Prescribed Burn Association.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, these
we've got a lot of support.
Managing huge swaths of acreage. Yeah. The way that it was taken care of back when the Miwok were here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I think I might have said it before in one of the other shows. It's like this litigation issue that we have in our society. This litigation issue we have in our society.
Yeah.
There are.
Oh yeah. There's a happy kind of thing.
Well, there we got the thunder and lightning.
Kaboom.
Talk about fire, right?
Thunder.
Wow.
And the lightning.
My wife's
if we go back 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
Someone's house burning down or something, everybody drives a hose. And like my father was a volunteer firefighter. They'd just drive up to his house, he'd jump in.
Yep.
Today in order to be a volunteer firefighter, you have to have just as much classes and training as the guys that are getting paid full time, but you're going to get paid nothing.
Yeah.
And so there's that's weird litigation in that sense. But then, okay, you tell me all that forestry equipment down in Sonora at the Forest Service is sitting there most of the year, should be out working someplace, helping private property or something.
I don't think
they should be working constantly. But that's the whole point.
First of all,
the litigation.
I don't think they have the money. They've never had the money. I'm not talking about now. I don't think they've ever had the money.
The government has a bigger credit card than all of us, I'm sure.
The government, I agree. The government does.
Yeah.
But traditionally, the government's like, we're going to put the money here. We're going to give you a little bit over here.
That's
maybe
litigation,
you get a little bit over here, and you'll get a big chunk over here. Yeah. And that doesn't. It's one of the reasons I went from paying attention and fully involved at the federal level, and then jumping down, watching and paying attention at the state level, and being like, they're not going to hear me there either. Yeah. And then getting down to the local level. Yeah. And because you're not going to stop them. It doesn't matter which president is in there. They're all going like this. We're going to get a bunch of money here. Get a little bit of money here. And then a bunch of money over here. Well, and this center part that they don't give any of the money to, that's stuff like what will help all of us.
Yeah, what will help? It's usually that's the thing. Like, what will help is like that's the one thing we're not going to do. Like, we'll do everything else, but what will help, right?
What we need is a decent governor. You know what I mean? That can pull everything down to like forestry and everything. Stop cutting jobs.
But
that's the way I feel.
If you want to talk about the governor and you want to get that governor out, I totally agree with you that we need a group of people to say, hey, that's just how it works. But I feel helpless at the state level.
And but I also feel like when you think of California, you don't think of the forests of California. You think of the beach, the San Francisco, LA.
Well, that's what they're more interested in. They really don't care about up here.
No, we're East California. We're East Cali. I made a sticker not too long ago. Talking about graphic design, like East Cali, 108.
Yeah. But I mean, we're kind of like the last thing because
I think of
down there.
Last thing, we're the poorest, one of the poorest counties in the state.
Third.
Yeah, third. But what I'm saying is, their priority is down there, southern. They got the Grass Valley. They got
their priority where the votes are, where the population is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's that coastline all the way up until you get like that Marin County, right, where all the money is.
Yeah.
Where the afterthought.
I put out a thing, when we had that Snowmageddon a few years back, where it says, this is what people think California is. And this is what our California is.
Yeah.
And it's like me in 6 feet of snow, like leaning on the top of a street sign, and just buried. And then, down in the coast, it was like 68 degrees. And
they don't care. They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. Well, I mean, literally, you could have just gone down to Sonora and they didn't know.
Yeah.
At that time, they didn't know. It was like, you don't know what we're dealing with right now. We've got trenches to get to the front door.
Yeah.
So
another problem.
It's a different world.
I always see Southern California and us and Northern California are all different.
Yes.
It's like 3 different states.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So what happens down south, they try to do here in Northern. It doesn't really work. It's like 2 different states, 3 different states.
Oh, and then now they just cut us all up in different districts now to get those extra 5 seats. My gerrymandering. Like, oh my gosh, it's like we didn't have enough representation as it was.
Yeah. I don't even know if I have like half. I'm not even going to get into any of that.
I don't know much other than I know.
I'll tell you what I know.
I don't know.
Tuolumne County is not like anything else. And I'll stick to that. Tuolumne County is very unique for California.
Yes.
Because you can just go up a couple counties, and it's not like Tuolumne County at all. You can go down a couple counties, and it's not like Tuolumne County at all. It's a very unique place. And I have said, if we're ever in a deficit at the county level, once we hit the fiscal end of the year, and say we went into bankruptcy, the state takes over. State comes in and goes, we're taking over. We're going to govern you now, and we're going to take over your government.
San Francisco would love that.
I know.
They already got our water. What else are you going to take from us?
They might as well take the county too.
I don't know very many people in this county that would be like, right on. Because I'm one of the first people to say, Tuolumne County is not California, and we know that. Like, you know, San Francisco is what people think of California. LA, Hollywood is what people think of California. They're not thinking the way that we are, the way that we live.
Absolutely.
And when I talk about that, I can go back to, you know, pre-COVID, pre-social media, when Tuolumne County was a place where we leaned into our neighbors. And I've repeated this over and over. When your neighbor's house catches on fire, the people who have like the soul of Tuolumne County, you're never going to be like, and you voted for? You know? No, we're grabbing buckets and bringing the hoses. And, you know, we're out, I'm shoveling my neighbor's driveway because they're old, you know, and it's like they need help. I'm shoveling out an ambulance who got stuck in the snow in front of my house. Like,
we still, that's what makes us special. We still have that. And I feel like we're losing it a little bit as the generation goes. Tuolumne, obviously I grew up in Tuolumne. That's my hometown. I love Tuolumne. We still have that. We're like, we should be the second city of Tuolumne County. But Sonora has, like, I feel like really sucked up a lot of our economy. They don't let us grow, you know, in certain aspects, because it's always about fighting tax dollars.
You know what? And there are
just
answers
this little
to that.
Tiny piece of tax dollars we're always fighting over.
And guess what? There are answers that the county could work with the city to solve that problem for growth, directly for growth, so that the city itself could grow, but they're not stealing all the tax, right? And there is a cooperative that we could do. The county could work with and get a huge portion, not huge, but there could be a split in that tax base.
But I don't want to be like, sitting on Park and Rec, looking at government budgets myself. There's just a piece of pie, and it's not. You're fighting over the same thing. You take some from somebody over here, you're losing somebody over here. And even at Park Rec, we're like, we really need about another $200,000. But in this economy, in this time, and we're raising taxes isn't gonna fly.
Taxes are what they are.
You're talking about the city?
I'm just talking about taxes in general, especially for Park and Rec.
I'm just saying the 200,000. Like when you say we need another 200,000.
Park and Rec. Park and Rec and Tuolumne.
Tuolumne County Park and Rec.
No, not Tuolumne County, just Tuolumne Park and Rec District. City of Tuolumne. We got 5 districts in Tuolumne.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not a city. James Wood. But with that, you know, why we want that money is that actually we're trying to get county property, because a lot of the parks that we take care of, that's how we get our contract with the county, which is always on the cutting block. And it makes me mad every time, because it's like, whether you know, we saved Tuolumne County money by taking care of the parks for Tuolumne.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was in those meetings.
Yeah, that's always the fight.
I sat in those board meetings.
And it's like, so these things have to get taken care of anyways. Give us the property, but we need the tax revenue that comes along with it. So you're not fighting over it no more. Or we got to but that's taking money away from them. Or we have to raise taxes.
Isn't there like, I don't. You know, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure there is an agreement that everyone inside the borders of Tuolumne Township is giving to Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
it's taken out of their. But it hasn't
risen since 1950s.
Right. And it's I believe you know, James is fighting for that every 2 to 5 years, if not more.
We're just fighting to keep the contract, but we're working on a budget that was created in 1950.
Yeah, that's pretty well.
And you know, people kind of complain, well, don't raise my taxes, whatever. Hey, look, at home your bills go up. The government bills go up too.
Yeah, I'm glad that you say that, because people forget when they go, you can't just keep raising dollars. You can't just keep raising taxes, not dollars, taxes. Who I feel for deeply are people like my parents who are, you know, my mom is on a fixed income, and it's like she gets this much money until she dies. What I didn't realize when I was younger was you don't get a raise. You know, you retire 30 years ago, and you say you get, you know, $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're 80, you're 90, you're 85.
Yeah.
You're living on $1,200 a month. Back 30 years ago, $1,200 a month could get you through pretty well.
Yeah.
Now,
Nope.
that doesn't even pay your mortgage, like,
Or
so
your medical bill, your pills.
that as everyone else's goes up, theirs hasn't. So I keep that on the forefront of my brain when we talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we all have to remember that there are people who aren't on a fixed income who don't want our taxes raised. I'm one of them. I don't want my taxes raised, but I also know the cost of living is more. Mm. Everything is costing us more money, and I'm making more money than I was, 10 years ago.
Mm.
And so all of that has to work together. We are the lowest sales tax in California at 7.25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember that passed a few years back.
Yeah.
We upped it, I think.
And I hear people to this day talk about, I remember when it was 4.25.
Mm-hmm.
If our sales tax was 4.25 in the county, the state would be running Tuolumne County.
Yeah.
They tried to get that tax passed. What was it? 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And guess what? That was like the biggest sign to that board that we don't trust you with our money.
Well,
the majority of our county said, no way. Like, it didn't pass a 50%, I don't believe.
No.
It was like, ain't no way that we're going to let you go willy-nilly on our funds.
And in their defense, they buckled down, and I think they made some cuts that were hard cuts. And I think talking to some of this county staff, they found stuff that, it was needed to go. And so I think there's obviously an upswing and improvement, in my opinion, on where things are going with the budget. But, revenue. I mean, it's either revenue or taxes, and they always say that, well, we got to go revenue. But in the revenue, I have a heartache with that too. I noticed you did some work for Visit Tuolumne. I don't really care for them, to be honest with you. And I don't like the fake numbers, because to me it's fake numbers. It's just
made up numbers.
Yeah,
the
TOT
whatever,
and all the time.
$3 million that they get out of the TOT that goes, or whatever, out of the general fund.
I've said it for years. I feel like it's
$26 million
fake numbers. And honestly, I would love to see them cut their 1.7 million budget or whatever, bring an in-county house tourist office for like maybe $500,000. So then you have the other mill that go towards whatever, but they try to say, us as a visitors bureau, we bring in all this. Like, Tuolumne County sells itself.
It does.
We always have. Like, just because you came on board doesn't make things greater. That's just my opinion. It's all in my opinion. They don't like me.
No, I hear you. I'm taking that in, and that's a good point. I know that there's other counties. I don't have the solution for that one, I'm okay not to have.
I would go even deeper, and I'll get in trouble probably for saying this. Okay. I feel like they're a mob, and I've put it out on Facebook, because our government, our tax dollars are going to them. And then, so somebody like me, because when I was running, this is what happened. I was like, no, I don't really care for you. Yeah. Then they took and turned around and said, well, Aaron doesn't support business growth. Aaron doesn't support tourism. Don't vote for Aaron because he doesn't support us. Like, wait a minute. Like, you're existing because of my tax dollars, and now you're getting involved in the campaign. Right. So that's why I say it's like, I don't like what's happening there, and I never have.
Yeah.
So the one thing I love about the TOT tax is that that's not our tax. I mean, we're not paying that tax. No one in the county, unless you're staying at a hotel or a campground, is paying that tax, that 12%. That's I like to call it the tourist tax or the bedroom tax, they call it in other places. But we also have campgrounds that are taking that money.
I would argue that that's affecting bed and breakfasts, because you have to pass that on to people coming in. And so that's going to affect your bottom line. So
the way that it works in a bed and breakfast is you go, it's $100. It costs you $100 to stay at our house. Yep. Let's say it doesn't, but let's say to make numbers easy, it costs $100 a night for this room. And
how you passing that along? The taxes.
Then they go, okay, it's $100. And then you go, there's this tax that goes, we don't even see it. That's the county's tax that goes on top of that.
But the tourists coming in, the customer sees it though. They're the ones going to pay it. They're the ones that's seeing it. Like,
oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know. So you're right. They see it.
When I'm hunting for a hotel, I'm like, or a place to stay, it's like, okay, 150, 120. Like, you know, do you want to save $20 by going over here or $30 by going over here? There is that battle. I mean, you can separate it out as much as you want, but
on every single one of those rooms, you're gonna, on top of that, you're gonna pay the 12%. Or whatever that town is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not even sure what San Francisco is, but it's higher than 12%. And
I've never felt like if I went down to Aladdin to rent a hotel room that they're asking me if I'm a local or not. Like,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You'll still pay the 12%.
Yeah, exactly.
Every hotel you're going to pay a TOT.
Yeah.
In California. But with that said, I will say this. That's never stopped me from going to wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I might not stay there. I might stay over here.
If someone decides to go on vacation, they already know they're going to be spending money.
We're going
someplace.
Right? Just have this conversation.
Are we going to the beach? Or are we going to the next state over? Are we going out of country? Like, I'm looking at going out of country. It's a little bit cheaper depending on where you go. Like,
hey,
man.
You got to buy those plane tickets. Though.
Yeah, but that's why there's such a boom with RVs and stuff right now. So, my sister-in-law lives in Nevada. Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to get a KOA down there with my trailer than it is to go spend hundreds of dollars a night over there, some kind of casino, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are doing that. But now the gas, so I have a diesel.
Yeah.
My Tracker 250. Cost me $155 to fill it up the other day.
So is diesel still higher than gas?
Yeah.
No one can figure out why, but it is.
It's almost $8.
It was supposed to be.
My God.
You know, I remember back in the early 2000s, it was cheaper, and everybody went diesel. Then all of a sudden, diesel went higher, and it was, I don't know if it was a California thing or.
I think it was a supply and demand thing. All of a sudden, I bought a diesel car because it got 500 miles to the tank on a 12-gallon tank. And it just went forever.
Diesel's
could have been longer.
It's better for the environment. It burns cleaner. It's better.
It really does. Diesel does.
And it's less refined, right? So it should be
less
cheaper.
Refined. It should be cheaper.
It should be cheaper.
And it's got.
I'm in agreement on that one. Absolutely.
Talk about all those guys driving the big diesels. They don't care about the environment. No, actually, we're doing more for the environment than you. We really do.
What's hilarious is that when I got my car, it was less than gas. It was one of the reasons it's less than gas, and I can go forever in this thing. Yeah. Then, it was 2 or 3 years later, because I think it was post 2008. And all of a sudden, diesel was higher than gasoline, and all my friends, and everyone up here has a diesel truck. And it was like, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what happened. We were just talking about taxes, right?
Yeah.
Now, California has its own blended diesel.
I think we all learned about that recently.
Yeah. So all those taxes add up. In other states right now, it's under $4, under $3
for diesel,
under $2.
It's less than gas in other states.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's wild, right? Isn't that just wild?
Yeah, so you're talking about taxes.
So there's a dirty tax or something like that, or some sort of something tax.
Yeah. Well,
how they tax soda and candy.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're almost
diesel
taxed
bad.
for each mile that you
diesel
drove.
bad. For some reason.
What I mean? So taxes and taxes and taxes. People don't like taxes.
Yeah.
People don't like taxes. I don't like taxes, but I also know, man, sometimes we got to fork out to make things happen. Yeah. Everyone wants our roads fixed, including me.
Yeah.
But if the money's not there, they're not going to get fixed.
And maintenance repairs and tires. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're paying for it one way or the other.
Right now, how in the hell are we supposed to pay all these taxes when we're already getting taxed by the government?
Right. There's plenty of taxes.
We don't have the money, man.
I know.
Well, it's just I
know, and you want to know is it going to end up? So that's the thought process. I mean, if you talk to certain people, they're like 1%. Let's put 2% on it, right? And they're like, and I'm like, are you crazy? It would be a miracle if you get 1%.
Yeah.
And 1% is a hit.
Yeah.
You have to go in thinking that. And there are people that are on fixed incomes that are going to go, well, 1%, so that's a penny on every dollar. So every $100 I spent, that's $1. And da-da-da-da. And when you compound that over all the money that you spend in this county over a year, what that adds up to be. And if you're paying attention to your budget, because it is fixed, you're either going to go, you're not going to leave. So you're going to go, okay, I have to budget my food intake.
Yeah, so,
I have to make these socks last longer. Like it becomes choices of like, hopefully it's not dire. But yeah, I mean, I've really tried to wrap my head around like, how do we fix our roads?
I feel like we're up against problems that we're not going to be able to fix over a podcast for sure.
I know. But when it comes down to
definitely
either buying a
frustrating.
gallon of milk or a gallon of gas or your pills or food.
There's
that's the problem with everything right now, and if there's more taxes applied to you,
it just keeps cutting away at your budget. I agree. I'm 100% with you.
There's two things I don't look at the price of. I don't look at the price of gas, and I don't look at the price of food. We need to eat, and I need to go where I need to go.
Yeah,
I do, but I look at gas and I go,
yeah.
And I fill up.
Well, pretty soon
I don't want that depression in my life, man.
All
I really
those
don't.
dump trucks and everything over there at the forestry, they're going to be coming down the street picking people up, man. I mean, it's going to come to that.
Yeah.
Because people can't afford food and they can't afford gas. They got to pay their rent. They got to have a place to live.
Right. Yeah.
And then we got AI coming to take all of our jobs too.
You got to have the lights on. Right. You got to be able to turn on that heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think there's nothing that can get to me quicker than when I hear about someone who is making those choices, where they're like, I'm not going to eat, but I have to feed my kids, and that's a reality.
And that's a lot of this county.
We do have programs. We're not so rural.
We have good programs.
We have good programs that keep people fed.
Make too much money,
that keep people fed. That keep people under care. We've got that agency, Area 12, Agency for Aging.
Yeah, we got aging.
Incredible program that not enough people in this county know about.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. There's a lot of programs that people haven't been using, but I remember, what was it like in the fall? We were having the government shutdown or something, really crunched on our on food money, and the county was also behind on their grant funding or something. And I literally know because Sonora Vets Helping Vets, we have a food program, and we went. Dave, our vice president, he went from feeding about 100 a month at our free local breakfast to over 200 within a month. Like it doubled, and so. But then also because of the crunch, people realized, oh, there is programs, there is help. There's always that balance too. If people they're struggling and they just don't ask and they don't know, and it is kind of embarrassing. We've all been there when we're down and out. Like,
ATCA, perfect example of food. And they were getting nervous there. Yeah, and the community stepped up. There's a perfect example of the community stepping up and providing food.
That's another good thing about our community. We do have good, wealthy people in this community that make things run. This community runs on donations. All of our social organizations, our social programs. If there's something happening,
there's so many things.
It's people because people are giving.
And that's like, all of us in this room know this. Like when you have the ability to give, you do. And hopefully that's just one more like example of Tuolumne County like caring for each other. It's to go all the way back to what you were saying before. It's what we need to bring back to the board. And the reason I say that is because right now, if you're watching those board meetings, man, it's like there's no crossing that line on either side. They're both holding they're both holding a line.
But it's swung back and forth. Both. It was swung hard
100%
the other way a few years ago. Now it's swung hard this way.
When it was swung the other way, right? You could hear whichever side. It doesn't matter when it was going one way or the other. There was always one person on the majority side that was like, nah, just didn't have the votes. just didn't have the votes to go the other way. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You could have been that vote, man. And that's either way. Just didn't have the vote. Wasn't my fault. They just didn't have the votes.
Yeah, she's going like this. Wasn't my fault.
Ooh,
well, politics.
That's right.
Yeah, politics. So there needs to be like an ability to cross those lines and have those conversations and have the common sense that you're going to have to compromise sometimes. It's not always going to go your way. And if you have those, if you acknowledge to each other, you all have that conversation when you're together, that in a public meeting that you are dedicated to the county more than your party. Mm-hmm. I think that alone can really move the needle. It can push everything forward. These things of kicking the can down the road will be easier to solve in a way that's beneficial to everyone.
We're probably wrapping up closely. I don't know if there's some things we didn't cover, but I mean,
I think there's a ton of things we didn't cover.
Yeah. What is?
Well, there's always next time.
We'll finish up your thought process on like what your. Naya the other day gave us kind of his plan and his overview of what's going on, how he feels things are going. What is your plan and overview of our situation?
Yeah, so like Naya probably told you, I'm doing my best right now before I get in there just to learn about everything I can learn about. Yeah. Okay, and then once I get in there, I'm closing my doors at my graphic design shop. I'm letting everybody I know that I'm working with now.
You can hire a Tesla robot to continue the business for you, bro.
I know. No, you want to know what the truth is?
It's coming out next year, man.
I was kind of hinting at it before, but the truth is, once I got into like these politics, and it was like, it really felt like a purpose-driven life, and it's something that I was missing. Being in one industry for so long. Yeah. And, like I said, making those widgets, I'm okay with walking away from that. I'm okay taking a pay cut. Tomorrow my wife and I are sitting down and we're going to figure out how we're going to make it all work with me making less money. Mm-hmm. We're going to be living on a fixed income, basically.
Absolutely.
I can't just make money out of nothing.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because that's what I want to dedicate my life to. So that's a change, right? Than what's going on now. Second from that, I want to come in and start conversations with all the heads of their department. I know throughout all the departments, traditionally, there has been an adversity to like working together in certain departments with certain other departments. And so taking that, like, I don't know what it would be called, but we need to even that we're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're in there, right?
I'm a little bit, yeah. I'm on one of the commissions, but I'm also at Park and Rec and Tuolumne. Yeah. So
you're communicating in there.
My concern, and I expressed this concern the other day, is like, hey, we lost some heavy hitters this last year. Yeah. Some of them I agreed with. The last one I did not. And I look at, hey, experience is important, especially when we're having trying times. Like, so I think there has been some type of shift down there, big time.
Yeah, I'll say, I know this, there are people that won't meet with me because they're afraid if they meet with me, they're going to piss somebody off and they're going to lose their job.
Yeah.
Not pointing fingers at any single person. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know if it,
especially now that people are going to be getting fired.
I'll tell you this.
Shorthanded. They're like, oh my gosh. They're probably
I
scared.
can say this candidly. I don't know if that's true. What I know is true is that's how they feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the board can afford to let anyone else go. Everyone else there is like, they're running on, skeleton crew.
Diversity.
But that doesn't change. That doesn't change the climate of that office, right? So they're afraid. Going back to what you said, there's something to say about an experience. That's called institutional knowledge, man. And there were people that were let go that had been there for close to 20 years, 30 years, and they probably could have run multiple departments.
Yeah.
By a single person, rather than the person below them who has been there for 3 years.
Yeah. But I think, unfortunately, with that experience came the nepotism that the grand jury wanted to squash.
With certain people.
Yeah.
I agree. I could agree with that.
And I think I saw that way back in like 1716 with one of the county administrators. I won't say his name. He left.
How old are you?
I know. I heard the same thing. 1716. We weren't even a country.
2017, 2018. There was problems back then that like, hey, the nepotism that the grand jury had come out with like recently, like, dude, that was like way back 10 years ago when it was way bad.
Yeah.
And like I mean, if we all want to be honest in the room, like that goes back.
Yeah. Well,
there are families that have been here for a long time.
The other thing about Tuolumne County, and I've said it multiple times, like this place runs on collusion, not negative collusion, positive collusion. Because we're so small, that's how we get things done. Right. And unfortunately, you will have these little cliques and people's opinions.
It's so bad that there's all that diversity in there, though.
All that diversity.
You got one side.
You keep saying this diversity. What's going on with this diversity?
Yeah, you got two sides fighting each other, right?
That's one thing you want to talk about diversity, though. That our board's not diverse, and I think that's going to play into District 2's race.
The five.
Yeah, not to say names.
5 or 6?
Yeah, there's 5 people running, but
including the incumbent.
Yes,
okay.
But when you look at the board, we have 5 males. We haven't had a female in there for a while,
so half.
So you have 2
females in there last round.
You have 2 females running in District 2, and I think that's going to play in. And I like that type of diversity. We need a female voice on the board.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I agree. I agree. There needs to be a female voice. I really like our. I mean, we can disagree on this one. I liked District 2 Supervisor.
Yeah, I do too. We had him on here.
I've talked to so many people in and out of the county admin and talking to fire. It doesn't matter who it is.
But this board.
I called that guy when I first threw my hat in. Just not to interrupt you, but you got to hear this story
right.
Because I was like, before, right when I threw my hat in, I started talking to everybody, and
like you should,
like I continue to do.
Yeah, all good citizens.
That said, when people talked about Ryan Campbell, they love him and hate him in the same conversation. He did this, and that was great. I'm really happy he did this, but you know what? When he went and did this, boy, oh boy, did that piss me off, kind of thing. That was like almost everybody.
I think
I called Ryan and I said, you know what? People either really love you or they just think you're the worst. That wasn't an exact words.
That's being a supervisor.
And his response was, who thinks I'm the worst? Right? I'm like, no, that's not my point. Yeah. You're doing your job. It's exactly what I thought. I was like, man, if both sides like and dislike you, you're doing your job correctly.
Yeah.
And if you can hold that space of being okay, people not liking you because they might like you on the next one or whatever, not really care, just care about the county as a whole.
Yeah.
You're cut out for that job.
Yeah.
So I agree there needs to be a female voice. It would be a shame to lose Ryan at this point.
Yeah, I get that.
He puts the county before himself. It's crazy.
No,
he does work right over here. He got
Oh yeah.
What? How many millions of dollars did he get to harden this whole area?
Well, I think it was $1 million grant.
1.2 or something like that. $1 million bucks.
How that's panning out,
not working out.
No, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty.
We don't need to get into the weeds.
Yeah,
I just mean like.
Yeah,
I'll say it didn't go to his district. Yeah, and he advocated for Pondo getting it.
Yeah.
So
I'm totally like I like all the supervisors down there. I have supervisors I like better than others. Of
course,
even my favorite supervisors. I tell you what, I've sent nasty emails and I've
absolutely
whatever. But at the end of the day, I always say thank you for the job that they're doing because it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough, and I don't want it.
And guess what? You said it. That is the job. And I think if more people were civically engaged and called up those supervisors and said, you did this, and I don't like that, but you did this, and I appreciate you for doing this.
Yeah.
Or I appreciate you for listening to me complain.
Yes, exactly.
Even that would probably that'd be a huge step in the right direction.
Oh yeah.
If all those guys could do that.
Yeah.
And a few of them do.
Yes, they do. Yeah. For the most part, they do.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to? We didn't cover. I know we spent a lot of time today, but getting to know you is important. Long form is important.
Yeah, I agree.
And everybody that comes on here and shares their story, I believe people will get a lot out of that and get to know you better. Because I didn't know about you until you started running. Yeah. And so to bring you on today was me getting to know you. Yeah. And I believe our audience will too. So please share it, like and subscribe. Yeah, right on. Yeah. Hopefully it helps your campaign. Everybody that comes on.
Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. But all right. Well, thank you again for joining us. No. You got a good editor, so we're messing this all up. Right. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to know what? I think like the main thing I'm so grateful to be on here because I think people have like they have pigeonholed me into one corner or the other as far as politically. I've heard a lot of crazy stuff that they think I'm going to do or how I'm going to act or the kind of person that I am. And I think this is the first place that like you can truly see I am an honest to God, no party preference for a reason. Because I do have a foot in the right and I do have a foot in the left. And that's just the bottom line. And I know that, like we just talked about, that right and left can piss some people off. But I live in Tuolumne County, man, in California. So there is like there's a pole that I've grown up with. I grew up in the Bay Area, but I choose to live here and I call this place my home. So I sit in the middle. Mm-hmm. Or I sit firmly with one foot on the right in certain issues, and I stand firmly with one foot on the left on some issues. And I'm proud of that. I think there's plenty of us in our nation that feel similar to me. So I stand there.
Yeah, we're definitely not blue and red. There's always
I can tell the same thing, and I'm glad. It's not like we're going to agree on everything, and we're not going to land in the same place on everything. But it sounds like we've got a lot of common ground, and I found that across the board. That like there are people who, they absolutely disagree with me, with whatever. And
what I think what also helps, what also helps is getting to know you, like we did today.
Yes, absolutely.
People just see, what the 5 minutes on the radio or some blurb on the newspaper, Facebook. Oh my gosh, don't go on there.
In the street,
like you get to know somebody, become their friends, and that I think that's what whether it's family, community, or get to know somebody as a friend. Like I tried my best to be friends with the board of supervisors,
right?
And even the staff. I work with staff on commissions and stuff. It's like, oh, you had a child. Oh, how you feeling today? Right. Like, I genuinely want to care about the other person. Absolutely. And then that helps when you have a disagreement, when you have an argument.
100%.
Of like, give some grace, man.
Like, and then having honest conversations, right? Stop, I have to remember to stop politicking, right? I'm not a politician. I never ever dreamed of being in this position until the last 8 years. Did it even enter my mind? Right? I was a musician and an artist, graphic designer, ran my own business. And things change, and all of a sudden we're talking. And when we're talking one-on-one and we have real conversations about real things and we've learned where our backgrounds are from and where we stand, that's a completely different thing than like, you know what I believe and you know what I stand for. And it's like, let's just have a conversation. Let's talk. I think that needs to happen across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we'll meet. The problem is the board can't talk about anything beyond one person because all of a sudden there's a Brown Act.
Yeah, that Brown Act, don't get me started on that. I mean, and that completely, I get it, and I have to deal with it all the time being on the boards I'm with, but there.
You know what I wish? I wish we could have a board meeting every week. One is to like discuss it. Well, it just has to be open to the public. Yeah. But if the board got together and said, let's talk about this, and it's open to the public, and fully have the time to talk about this, not wasting anybody's time or money. You don't have to be there. No decisions are going to be made. They're just going to complain to each other. And then or they're going to find that middle ground because they can't talk to each other on the phone. Yeah. They can't talk to each other in person. You can only have one conversation and then everyone else, whatever, And then the following week, we're going to have this board meeting. We're going to come together. Then it's not, that collusion that you're talking about is no longer behind closed doors or breaking it's not violating the Brown Act. It's a public meeting just to discuss. It could be the most boring meeting ever.
Oh yeah. Well, most of them are. I feel like.
Yeah. But you know, there's
but they
things
drag
that,
on.
There's things that come up on those agendas that are like everyone's going to show up to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just have a talk about it first, and then maybe we can find some common ground without having to be on. You know,
well, I
have
feel
to be
like
on TV and have it be news. Like it's just a talk. Maybe I'm being.
Oh no!
Maybe I'm being dreamy, right? Maybe I'm being just too.
Well, I mean, that would solve a lot of problems.
Utopian.
Just sit down the top.
We are a republic.
Yes.
And we vote for people to represent us the best they can. I think sometimes we forget that. Like, oh, everybody's got a voice. Yes, everybody has a voice, but we're still a republic. We're a representation. Mm-hmm. We send our delegates. We send people to represent us. And if we have, the more faith we have in them, the more trust we have in them, the more we can relate to them and understand them.
Yes.
The less you're going to have a bunch of mobs down there at every board meeting going about a subject, because that just shows there's a disconnect between the people that got voted in and the people.
And the people, yeah. And a lot of people that have problems like that, they will not call and talk, because sometimes, you know, they can make arrangements to talk to you guys, and sometimes people just don't want to talk to other people.
Yeah.
If you got a mob down there, the board of supervisors, you've already failed. There's already a failure. Number one.
Say, well, I think I'm going to run for governor.
Oh man,
no, thank you.
But alrighty, well, it's been a nice morning.
Sorry, Ray.
Ray's over there making hand signals like, "Hey, wrap it up, guys." All right. Well, again, thank you for joining us today on Tuolumne Legends with our guest, Tim McCaffrey, running for supervisor, and Marv, wingman. And join us on the next episode. We got a couple more coming up next week that are going to be just as good. So thank you very much.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
A lot of fun.
Super
fun.
Right on. Thank you.
All right.